welcome to Our Life. Today on Our Life is all about relationships, from marriage to single to divorce. The question is, do women really know what they want? So let me give you a quick removing the mask back before we take a quick break and come back with our first guest. Were you aware that 20% of dating comes from online? So when we return with my first group of single ladies, we're going to find out, do they really know what they want in a man? We'll be right back. We are back, guys. So now I have my single ladies here with me. I have Miss Lala. I have Miss Christian. Did I do it right? I will tell.
Her face is so
I will tell. Yeah, because I'm like, oh, did I do that wrong? And I have Miss Roxy with me. So we're gonna find out, do these ladies really know what they want in a man? So can each of you tell me how long you've been single? Lala look like she was going to be the first one to answer that at all.
I'll go first. I think I've been single for a little bit over a year, almost a year and a half.
Okay.
I've been single for about 10 months so far.
You do legit.
Not really, because my last relationship, I was kind of single the whole relationship.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, that's how I am with pretty much all mine. What about you?
Mine has been 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
So what type of man do you guys look for? What type of man do you guys like? Because we all have an idea of what we want.
Right.
But half time that's not true.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So,
it's very gray.
So tell me how is it gray?
Now, the type of the gray area.
The gray area is because it's like, okay, we know what we don't want, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then, of course, there's new things that like come up that like a new guy will show you or do for you or say, and you're just like, oh, okay, I like that. I think that's something that I would need to add to this very long list that I already have. So that's what, and then you have to like shave off some of those other things, that, you may have liked or wanted, because that list gets really long and ridiculous. But my main thing is, you gotta be this tall.
Okay. We gonna bypass you. Give us some next. I'm gonna let Dr. Dar deal with you. give me, yeah. Cause
So my main thing is you got to keep God first in everything.
See, that's why I just skipped her with you.
in everything you do, you got to
That's
keep
a
Him
good
first.
bit. I don't know.
That's why I did what I did.
And
Come on, Roxy, what you?
Now, what I like in a man and the man that I attract, two different things.
Right.
Yeah.
Way different things. I really like a man. I mean, who doesn't want a man that's together? Excuse me, folks.
Oh,
Can't
you
cuss.
did. You can't cut.
I'm sorry. Got his
Stuff, got his
Got
all
his
of his
stuff
things.
together.
Okay.
I like a man that has got his stuff together. He's got to be able to make me laugh.
Okay. You can.
I got
Too
it
late.
now.
We're
I
gonna-
got it now.
I'm gonna stick with you in the middle.
She's the safe one.
In the middle.
Good one.
The safe one.
What I know, one of my girlfriends would always say to me, her dad would tell her, "What happened to the leagues?" And maybe your mom, Christian, is here with us. Maybe she'll understand. He always say, "What happened to the leagues?" Don't they know when they look at a woman what league they in and whether or not they can talk to that woman or not?
Yeah.
And I think now in this day and time, any man decides if they got that little courage, they gonna walk up to you and talk to you. What do you guys consider as a deal breaker? Oh, Lord.
Well, the deal breaker would be going back to what she said. I mean, because there's a lot of men who say they're spiritual, but they're not religious, and I'd be like, okay, I need you to break that down to me.
Yeah.
they don't like to come to church. They don't. They believe in God. They have this relationship with Him, but I mean, it goes deeper, of course. With their spiritual connection and actually knowing the Word and realizing that they do have to fellowship with other Christians. So. That's a deal breaker to me, just that whole spiritual versus religion I need you to go to church. You know, I need you to be fed. You know, so that's a deal breaker too.
Before I say what I want to say, what are y'all deal breakers?
My main one is if I feel like I have to raise you.
Little boy,
If I feel like I gotta raise you, I gotta
little
let it
boys.
go.
she don't want a
Right.
boy.
I
She
don't
want a
have
man.
any kids, and I don't need a grown one.
Exactly.
So that's a deal breaker for you as
What?
well.
Oh,
If
yes,
you have
if I have to raise you, if I have to be your mother, I can't do it. Then you should just stay home and be with your mother.
So how about
I
how about
can't do
mama's
it.
boys?
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of
there's-
mama's boys.
there's
Yeah,
a
it is.
fine
Yes,
line.
It's a line.
Yeah, it's a line.
There's a line.
Yeah, I did. So what I'm going to say before we go into our first break, and I bring back our life coach, Ms. Dawn Paul, with us. My father and mother were married for almost 60 years before he passed away, and the only time my dad stepped foot in a church was when someone died. Pretty much, you know. And my dad, no one is perfect.
Right.
But my dad took care of the household. My dad took care of my mother when she was ill. She took care of him when he was ill until he died. And so when it comes to that, and yes, everybody to me, you have to make that choice
Right.
to get close with God and know where you sit spiritually. You know, you can't make a man do anything.
No, of course not.
But a lot of women think so. So that's my dad was the best dad I could ever ask for, and he would only step foot in church when we had to go to a funeral, and he really had to go to that funeral. That's all the time he would step foot in church, and I think I had the best dad I could ever ask for. But we're gonna take a quick break because we're gonna come back to that height thing that. Yeah. So when we come back, I'll have my fantastic life coach with us, and that is Ms. Dawn Paul. So we'll be right back. We are back now, and I have my awesome certified life coach. Y'all know her as Dr. Dawn.
Put certified on it. You got to be careful out here.
I did put certified on it. You heard me say certified. I put certified.
Self-proclaimed is going around now, but we'll
Yeah,
talk about that later.
anybody. Well, that's a whole nother show. We're gonna talk
yes.
about. Yeah. She is a public speaker, certified. If you didn't hear me the first time,
Right.
she not going around just telling you what she think. She is certified to do so. And media personality, love her to death. I always heard her name. Finally got to meet her last year. So thank
Yes.
you for coming sit
Thank
with
you for
me
having
on
me.
the Our Life show.
Thank
What made you decide to be a life coach? Because
Oh, because what?
what made you decide to be a life coach?
I always tell people, your calling always calls you. Whatever you just think you're going to do, God will take you in a whole different direction. So it really called me. And somebody said, because I started in radio, and they gave me the nickname Dr. Dawn. So I was giving advice and truth and wisdom to people on the radio. And my mom, she said, I like that, but why don't you go to get your life coach certification? And I was like, I don't need it. I'm good. People like, what I have to say, and I'm pretty good, but you need that credibility. You cannot, and it really, and I went to a certified program. It was a good program, respected program. It was a school that had been around for over 20 years. So, because God was like, you go to the best. There's nothing wrong with the programs if you get your certification in a day, but I went to a program that I learned so much. I had to get hours. We had to get practice hours in. I mean, they treated us like we did deep training. We had to take tests before they gave us our certification. It was no joke.
Right.
And it really helped elevate how I help people. And it was the best thing. So you should never, I don't care if you're gifted at training people as a trainer, go get your certification. It gives you credibility, and it also teaches you and elevates you in your gift.
And
So,
that's
yeah.
how I feel about pastors. I think
Yes,
if you're going to be a
absolutely.
pastor, you need to go to school.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't be a pastor You're gonna leave it like that, and you're
Yeah.
gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need it because it helps
Sure.
elevate you.
It's a
Yeah.
certification,
Sure.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you something. Are men more open to what you have to say than women? Because I ask that because women sometimes, and I have these three right here, we hard-headed. We think we know everything. We don't want to listen.
Yeah.
We don't think it's our fault.
Yeah.
So is men more open to hearing what you have to say?
I think so because of my approach to coaching and to speaking. They know that I'm not going to male bash. I'm going to call women out for some things too. It's not always him cheating.
Right.
Yeah.
Women cheat too.
Yeah.
Right.
And we do it better.
Yeah, well, sometimes, but well, yeah. Sometimes we can be a little sneaky, you know. But I tell you, I think because of how I speak. You've seen me on Facebook Live, the messages I give, and I don't male bash. Everybody has to be responsible. The men, you
Right.
need to be responsible too. But sometimes women, we have to be responsible. So I think I don't male bash. So I think that's why men are receptive to me. But also just my approach. And, you know, I always have to keep it candid. And then I keep it real. Yeah.
And you do keep it real. And
Yeah.
that's the one thing I love about you because I keep it real as well. And
Oh, yeah.
sometimes when I keep it real, I offend people. So
Well,
a
that's
whole
their problem, not
Yeah.
yours.
nother- right.
And it's not your responsibility.
So
Who-
when I
yeah.
was talking to these ladies here, I don't know if you were backstage listening, but so I asked them what type of men do they like.
Okay.
So Miss Lala, that's sitting next to you,
Cute.
said they have to be yay tall.
Okay.
That's what she said.
I said.
The thing is, let's own it. Whatever you, and then I'll of course give my 2 cents, but be honest. It's about honesty on the
To
couch.
me, that's not the most important thing.
No.
So what is the most important thing? Because that's like out the wind.
That
To me, that's like
was me being funny. I'm always a character. But what I told her was he got to be this tall to ride this ride, basically. and it's just, you know, the same before. I've heard it so many times, but I love tall men, and it's not a deal breaker, but it is.
Yeah. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And so the main thing, it will go back to what she said. I mean, he has to have a relationship with God. I mean, I need him to be able to pray for me.
Amen.
and that was 2 things that her and Christian, they all I think pretty much agreed on. They had to have a relationship with God, and like I explained to them, my father and mother was married for almost 60 years.
Wow.
He'd only step in church when he had to go to a funeral. I mean, so I think each individual needs to come to me, this is me,
Yeah.
their own relationship with God.
Yeah.
We can't make them go to that.
Right.
So if they don't come to that, like my mom didn't force him to go to church,
Right.
but they were all married for almost 60 years. And I got what you guys are saying
Yeah.
because that's important. But if you don't have that and he does everything else 100%, I'm going to say, would that still be a deal breaker?
I mean, is he atheist?
I don't know if it's. I don't know. This
Like,
is
I just
imaginary-
questions. I mean,
this is an imaginary man. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, would he be? Would that be still a deal breaker when he's doing everything else that a man is supposed to do, besides wanting to go to church with you every Sunday?
Well, like I said, I need him to be able to pray for me.
Yes.
Because I mean, we don't battle with flesh and blood.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
it's
true.
a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
I know that right now what I'm going through, and so yeah, I mean, whoever the man is, I mean, he may not be, you know, on that level with God at this moment. That's fine. You know, we can be friends, but as far as us going to any other level, you know, I'll just continue to pray for him.
What do you have to say?
You have to make the decision. See, because I'm a believer too. I love the Lord, and you have to make a decision. What is going to be your deal breaker? What is your non-negotiables?
Right.
My non-negotiable is you need to be a believer. You need to love the Lord. Not just love him, but you need to be active in your faith. Because I need a man. If we're here, ladies, we need a man who's a little higher than us. Now, he's not going to be perfect in every area, but he at least needs to be here spiritually or here. He can't be, I don't want to have to beg you to come to church. That's not, we got too much. Like she said, Lala said, we're dealing with these spirits. You cannot in your household. Why bring extra problems? You need to make sure you're on one accord. You don't want, if you have kids, they staying at home with daddy. You going to church. Everybody needs to be on one accord. So to me, that's a non-negotiable. That's me, and I don't apologize for it. He can have everything else, but if he doesn't have that, which is the foundation for a strong marriage, everything else is gonna crumble. When your money is low as a couple, things are gonna fall apart because you don't have that foundation in God. So you have to have the foundation, and if that's not your non-negotiable, you need to stick to it. If he has everything else but that, or whatever your non-negotiable is, you need to stick by it. Don't settle.
Okay. The next one they said was they don't have kids. They're not raising a man. He should already be grown.
Yeah.
We're not gonna say the word she said.
Have the stuff together.
Yes. Amen.
Have their stuff together because they're not raising
That's right.
raising you all over again.
That's right. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, I tell women all the time, don't ever date out of desperation. And I'm always leery of these mamas pushing they sons on me. What the reality is, you didn't raise him right, so now you want him in my house because you tired of him in yours.
And you know
sitting on your couch.
And you know something wrong with
I got a
it.
good son at home. Why are you pushing him on me? Why has he not found a wife? Because you want him off your couch and you getting tired. No, we not.
Exactly.
I be leery of that. So no, he does need to have his stuff together because that's what we deserve. And any man that says we're high maintenance for that's some manipulation going on. You stand true to your standards.
Right.
Yeah.
And we are not being high maintenance saying we want a man who treats us right, who makes a good living, who takes care of himself, who will take care of us. Those are things we deserve.
Right.
And it's not being unrealistic. It's not being demanding. It's having a standard.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, do you ladies think that you may be the person that needs work versus whoever you're trying to date at that time?
I feel like I'm forever changing and forever evolving. So yeah, I'm progressively working on myself all the time. And I don't think that should ever stop. But I mean, yeah, definitely I do believe that sometimes I'm the toxic one. Like I see that sometimes. Like I get angry at little things that really don't matter.
Okay.
But you know, that's something that I am working on still.
What about you?
Definitely. I hope my mama don't mind me saying this. I grew up in a single parent household, and I kind of have daddy issues. So it's hard for me to let a man lead because I'm so used to seeing my mama do everything.
Okay. No, yeah, for sure. I know. I mean, we all are a work in progress for sure. We're all trying to learn ourselves better and, you know, make ourselves into this, you know, not perfect person, but, you know, just always graduate into a better person.
Yes.
And so I know for sure I've had a friend who we would talk a lot about certain things that, you know, we would kind of be like a mirror for each other. Like, okay, these are the things that you're doing. You don't realize you're doing this. You know, just from a male perspective and, you know, me from a female perspective. But for sure, I think I have trust issues from men. I do not, I don't know. I think just the men that I've dealt with, I just don't trust them.
I know for me, I didn't grow up in a single parent household, but I still take control of the whole situation. So I still take control of the whole situation. So, and you know, because if we're dating, I say take out the garbage and then you let it sit there for like 10 minutes, I'm gonna take it out myself because that irritates the life
And not gonna say two words about
out of me. You know, so I think that might just be me. You know, and then like you said with the trust issues, everybody lie. People don't tell the truth. People wear masks all the time and camouflage who they really are. They don't take responsibility for who they are.
Right.
When I meet somebody new, I give everybody the benefit of the doubt until you hang yourself.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
for sure.
That's what I do. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Before we take a break, and come back with our married person. And
Yes.
hopefully Dr. Dawn will stay with us for that.
Absolutely. I'm learning
Stay
too.
with it.
I want to hear what they
Would
have
you-
to say.
What are 3 life lessons that women should live by when it comes to relationships and dating? And I've done online dating because I say when I open up the show, 20% of relationships come from online dating. I do it. Well, I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But I used to normally because I was bored. But I've met a whole bunch of people. I don't have, I don't think nothing is wrong with it, but you do have to be careful.
Yes.
Right.
And
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna leave that right there.
Wisdom and discernment.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
you have to be.
Yeah.
Be careful.
3 things I live by, and this is just Dr. Dawn's. This is how what has helped me, and I didn't get to this overnight.
Right.
Work in progress. But number 1, I always have to keep God first. That will keep you from comparing yourself to others. It will keep you waiting on His timing. It will keep you confident. It will keep you walking in purpose, not living in popularity, not feeling like you need to do that. So that's number 1. I keep God first, and then number 2, I've learned to say no. I make no apologies. I'm not going to do everything, be everywhere. If you don't, if you're not okay with that, then you find out who your real friends are too when you start to say no.
Right.
So I learned to say no.
I need to learn.
Yeah, I say no. I'm not going to go. I can't make it to your event.
Yeah.
I got to build my businesses and what I'm doing. I can't go to every conference. You can't do everything. And no,
Right.
I'm not going to give you any more money. No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to give you money. You
That one
family,
right
you may
there.
love them,
Yeah.
but it's time.
No.
You're going to have to say no,
Ooh.
and you're going to have to mean it, and you're not going to have to feel guilty about it. So I say no and don't feel guilty about it anymore. And then the third thing is for me, and I would say this is this is a major one. You really, really have to. And how do I say this? I always be candid, but I keep it in Christ. So
Just say
learn
it.
to say no, but I think we have to start just being honest. And we have to just be honest with ourselves.
Right.
We have to, and I like how these sisters say, there was definitely some issues that they have pointed out, but they're owning it. We have to own our stuff.
Yeah.
And again, I love this show. We have to take off the mask.
Right.
When people say, "Oh, Dr. Dawn, oh, you got it together," and you don't. Oh no, boo, I'm a work in progress every day.
Right.
This didn't happen overnight.
Right.
And in fact, the Dr. Dawn you see now, the Dr. Dawn that started a few years ago, was selfish, self-centered, was because it was about me.
Right.
And I even would tell people, don't give advice because I know what and I don't want you talking in my segment at all. I mean, it was about me.
Wow.
Because when you're in this place where He gives you you're excited about it, and I didn't
Right.
even see it.
Right.
But God had to spank me. He's like, I'm going to use you, but I'm going to show you it ain't about you. You know, every now and then He got to do that. So now that's why I say it's about
Right.
the message, not the microphone. And it's some humbleness that wasn't here before. So I'm thankful to Him. And when people say let Him use you, in the beginning I wasn't letting Him use me.
Yeah.
And so I'm thankful for that. So we have to own our stuff because that is how we grow too.
Bad or good?
Yeah. It's good.
Bad or good, regardless of whatever the
Face
stuff
it.
is.
You
bad
can't
or
fix
good,
it if you
gotta
don't face it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think that's good.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna take a break. We'll be back with Miss Tequila Adolph.
She's awesome.
And we're gonna take the mask off on marriages
Oh, yeah.
because I think a lot of I got my single gals here. I think a lot of women want that fairy tale, that wonderful wedding day and all that attention and all that. But do they realize you have to take him home with you
Every night.
Right?
Every night.
So we'll be right back. We are back. Now, I have with me Miss Tequila Adolph. She proud because I pronounced that last name right. But Dr. Dawn is still with us. So now we're going to start taking off the mask on marriage. And what I said before we went into the break, Tequila, was I think a lot of single women, and I only have one of them, the other two ran off on me. I think they like that fairy tale of the wedding day and all the beautiful dress that you're not gonna be able to wear in 5 years and all that. And I think what they fail to realize is you really got to take that individual home with you every day.
And
I
you
don't
gotta
think.
wake up with him.
Yeah.
You gotta share a bathroom with
Yeah.
him, a kitchen.
Especially if y'all still in a little apartment and y'all got that dream house that you done plotted in your head. So first of all, you guys have been married. You've been married, what, 19 years?
Yeah, it will be 20 on December 31st of this
All
year.
right.
And I know your husband, so I'm praying. I'm yet praying. Yet still praying, because I know her husband. we yet praying, Mr. Hill. But how long did you guys date before you got married?
Okay, so that's easy. We didn't officially date, and I want to say officially because we were friends. And I just never pictured him as being my boyfriend, nor did I picture him as ever being my husband. So after people and relationships I went through, Willie was the one that I talked to about my problems, even my boyfriend problems. I would call him and say, I don't understand why this guy isn't doing this, and he was just always that friend that answered all of the questions, and he was always there. Besides being the father of our firstborn, it was no pressure with Willie. He just was always there, and he always, he was my friend.
So you say, well, let me give him a try.
Yes, I did.
He said, let me give him a try.
I did. So it was probably, I guess, about 8 months before we got married, because I said, let's give him a try. And I was pregnant again. So after 7 years, I was pregnant again by this guy. So I was just really trying to evaluate my life before I turned 30. And I said, okay, this is not good. I need to settle down and get serious with my life. And so I asked my husband to marry me.
You asked.
Yes.
Okay. So for my single females, what do you guys think and get your perspective on it? Because I kind of, in a way, don't judge me. I kind of believe in love at first sight, if you say, because I'm also a person that believes you never know an individual.
Yes.
I don't care how long you with that individual. To me, you will never know that individual, truly, through and out. So I don't think nothing wrong getting married after I done met you for a month. Well, I don't get nobody to stay around longer than a month, but
Stop.
I'm just saying. Yeah. So what do y'all think about that?
It just depends. My husband always said that ever since he met me, he knew that I was going to be his wife. So for him, it was love at first sight. And then I've seen men, and I thought that it was love at first sight. And before my husband, I've been engaged 3 times. So I wasn't new to it. They've asked me, and then it just wasn't there. It wasn't somebody that I feel was going to take care of me in the long run. And that's what I felt with my husband. Yeah. But what do you think about love at first sight?
I think, well, like I told you, one of the things, I always put God first. And the spirit of wisdom and discernment will be so strong. Sometimes it is. I've heard people say that after a month, we did it and it's still working.
Yeah.
But they when they met each other, they were both in a place where they were healed and they were being honest and working on themselves. You have a lot of people, they're looking at the surface. And there's no substance because they're in a place of desperation. But when two people come together and they're mentally, spiritually, and emotionally whole, and why waste time?
Yeah.
But you have to really know that person now. And now it may be love at first sight, but they're engaged for like a year or two. You know, it's not like they jump. Yeah, so
They didn't go to Vegas.
Yeah, and then all these, and I see people who are doing these books. I met my husband in 30 days. Okay, but you were healed. You have women following you, and they can meet somebody in 30 days, but are they gonna get a divorce and they gonna come to me in 30 days? So you're not telling the whole story. So you have to be careful about following people, and they mean well. They're telling you their story, but their background may be different from yours.
Exactly.
And then
So,
also
yeah.
with all the The Bachelorette and all the reality shows.
Yes.
I think that's a false sense of hope for a lot of people that they just want to get
Well,
married.
it's ridiculous. There's no way I'm gonna wait with 30 women while you decide if you want me or not. That's unreal. Come on,
Yeah.
ladies. It's television. We are adults.
Yeah.
You watch that stuff for entertainment, but when you are mentally, spiritually, and emotionally strong, you watch it for entertainment.
It's like you're supposed to at least.
You gonna let him choose between you and 30 women, and you waiting around? Then come on, ladies, and
not
men.
gonna
No.
work.
No, it's not gonna work. Give me a rough time, and how did you deal with it and not walk away? What mask you want to take
we've
off?
had several rough times, but I think the roughest time was when we made the most money we ever made in our lives, and we spent it like water. And then it seemed like, and I know it happened over a month's time, but it just seemed like everything hit rock bottom. And it was probably in 2007, 2008. We're in mortgage and real estate, and the businesses crashed. We tried to hold on to everything. We lost all our cars. It was really bad. We couldn't find any money from anywhere because we didn't save, and we had this house and we had these children to take care of. And how do we deal from that? We yelled at each other. We pointed blame at each other. If you wouldn't have bought this, if you wouldn't have spent this, or all kinds of stuff. And we had to turn to God, and we had to turn to church.
Amen.
And I can remember getting on my knees and saying, Lord, if you just keep my house and keep me and my family healthy, that's all.
Amen.
And basically that's what we did. We filed bankruptcy. We let one of our rent houses go in foreclosure, and then we lost both of our cars. And we went to church, and the church helped us out with food, and we got part-time jobs until we got ourselves together.
Amen.
Okay. And you stuck in there. You didn't walk away.
No, it was a scary feeling, and like I said, because my husband was my friend, he knew a way to get us back together and always made us smile.
'Cause
Even
people
when we
today-
have other problems and stuff, he's always the one not letting go, and he always find a way to say, hey, let me grab you and put you back in reality. This is it. This is how we have to do it. We need to switch and change gears. And so he's always been the problem solver.
Because young people today, I think they get married, they'll walk away if he keep the toilet stool top up.
Yeah, you just
They don't have. I think when they get married today, no boundaries are set on. Okay, this is how they get married, and then he's still gonna stay out till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. But you mad? What are you mad for? He was doing that before you married him.
Yeah.
So, but
And
you didn't discuss nothing, and then now I'm just gonna go file a divorce.
yeah.
You know. So, what advice do you have for someone that's getting married young? And I'm gonna ask you this question: don't cry. Do not cry.
I'm not. My daughter just got married, so
daughter
this
got
is the advice that I had to give too.
Her
Go
daughter
ahead.
got married last week. When I say cried, she had everybody crying. You couldn't even look at her without breaking down to cry. So don't cry up here.
I'm fine.
What advice did you give her that day? Did you give her some advice the day of her wedding? I know throughout her deciding to get married and all that, and you said that when you spoke, that you had conversations about marriage and this and that and other. But did you give her some advice that day? Because that day was the day. You got to say yeah or nay.
No, I don't have it. I don't have it in front of me. I told her to always remember why they met and why they fell in
Yes,
love.
you did remember that.
It's very important to remember what made that person special that you said yes. I also told her to have communication. You have to have communication because even in our relationship, we lost communication and it almost hindered our marriage until we started talking back to each other with the help of counselor. And I did. Did I say seek counsel?
Yeah.
I think I
Yes.
told her to seek counsel because I know it's very hard and frustrating when you think you know it all. And then always have God first. And even if one person don't want to come to God, or you don't even want to come to God, just know God, because He will always fix everything. God is not meant for no one to be alone. Yeah. And He has that person for you. He has that person. You don't look for him. He looks for you. That's just the order of what God wants things to be. So I believe that my husband looked for me. He searched me, and he kept me. Yeah. We're women. Yeah. We have very crazy minds on what we want to do, and even though we have our hearts set on certain things, we need to let go and just work within and know our place on what to be when we're ready to be a wife. Yeah. You need to know how to submit. You need to know how to have respect, and you need to know how to keep yourself up. Yeah. And that's how you can find a good quality in a man.
So one thing I'm going to say, Dr. Dawn, maybe you agree with me, I'm getting out the first segment, and this segment is put God first. I like what you said about seek counsel, because you're saying seek counsel outside of calling cousin TT to get her advice, or call, so seek outside counsel.
Outside counsel.
So I like those two things. So when we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back to the dreaded word divorce. But I'm going to introduce you guys to somebody that's divorced and happy, and she's going to explain to us how you can be divorced, when is the right time to seek divorce, I guess you should say, and still be happy. And don't be embarrassed to tell your people you had to kick him out. Or he kicked you out, one of the two. So we're going to be right back. We're back, everybody, and we're in our last segment, and I have Miss Kiana. Is it Kiana?
It's Kiana.
Kiana. I call her differently too. But she's going to tell us how we can kick the people out of our house and still be happy.
Help a Lord. Yeah.
But my story is a little different.
Yeah.
I didn't kick the people out the house.
Well, this is my story. This is my story. So on a serious note, when you got married, how long, first of all, were you married?
Oh, Lord. I was married for 16, 17 years.
Oh, you were married for a long time.
I was married for a long time. We met when I was 16.
So y'all like high school
We were
sweethearts.
high school sweethearts, yes.
And you were married for a long
I
time.
was married for a very long time.
So when it just like we just heard Miss Tequila say, marriage is a serious union where it's supposed to be at least.
Yes.
And everybody that gets married expects to be married forever.
Yes.
That is, I guess, the end goal. Yeah. You would say.
Yeah.
But sometimes it does not lead to that. It leads to divorce. So what led you? First of all, did you file or he filed? And what led to that point?
Okay, so funny story. It's not
Wasn't
funny then. Let me say that, but it's funny now. What led to the divorce was communication. Even though we've been knowing each other since we were 16, and we were married a long time, but if you don't work at your marriage, if you don't do everything that the parties are supposed to do, and that communication stops, the marriage pretty much stops. So it was the summer of my baby's freshman year. He came home and he sat on the edge of the bed. I'll never forget, y'all. He sat on the edge of the bed. I was asleep, woke me up out of my sleep and said, "Hey, I can't do this no more. I want a divorce." I was like, "What? Hold on, what? You want what?" "I want a divorce." "Oh, well, let's look at counseling. Let's go to the church. Let's do this," because I've always been in the church. He said, "No, I don't want to try any of that. I want a divorce." I said, "Okay." I laid back down like it was all a bad dream. Okay, let me go back to sleep. All right, get out of my room. That type of stuff. I had to worry about my kids. I couldn't cry in front of my kids because I'm a mother.
Were they both teenagers at the time?
They were both teenagers. She was going into high school and my son was in 11th grade. So, of course, you can't let them see you at your weakest moment. You can't let them see you cry because as a woman, we were always taught to be strong.
But yeah.
And especially in front of your kids. So behind closed doors, baby, I was putty. I was crying and everything else, but I knew who to turn to.
Yes.
I didn't call on my friend. Well, I did. I'm not gonna lie. I did call my friends, especially my best friend. But I knew I had to fall on my knees
Yes.
because that was the only way. I was raised by a single mother. But the difference was I was raised by a single mother, but my grandmother lived in the middle. My daddy lived down the street.
So you still had.
So I still had that
support
family,
system.
that support system. I never thought I would be in a place. Nobody could ever have told me I was going to be a single parent.
Do you feel it's something from the time he told you this, did you feel it was something you did?
I blame myself a lot.
Why?
In the beginning, I blamed myself a lot because I come from a family that believes a woman is supposed to do what they're supposed to do and hold on to their husband. That's your husband. I did everything from when I knew my husband was a truck driver. My ex-husband was a truck driver. So when I knew he was coming home, if I had friends over, oh, y'all got to go. He's about to come home. Made sure he had food. I did everything that a wife was supposed to do. At least that's what I thought. Remember, I said the communication wasn't there. So a lot of conversations that we needed to have, I didn't want to have. And vice versa. The conversations that he knew we needed to have, sometimes he didn't want to have them because he wanted to sleep. So yeah, I blame myself. I did. I blame myself for the longest. It took me a while to realize, hold on, it takes two.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
It took me a while, and I was like, okay. But here's the thing. I went through every emotion that there was. I went through anger. Oh, I want to kill him. Can't stand. I'm being real.
Yeah,
Well, I
that's
want you to. I just said, oh, but I'm glad you didn't kill
I
him.
wanted to kill him. Oh, he better not close his eyes. I can't believe he's doing this. Then when I found out he was dating again, I was like, hold on. What you mean he's dating again? And, you know, I'll never forget, and I think this will be your first time ever hearing it. My daughter's in the audience. He came to the house one day to see them, of course, because I was never that bitter ex-wife or woman to where you couldn't see your children. No, that's not how life is. But he came to the house, and I never forget, he came to the house like the dawn, and he was on the phone with her. And I just thought that was so disrespectful.
Yes.
Well, it was.
So what I did,
Yeah.
and I guess this was my bitter stage in life, I took that phone and I threw it up out that house.
Yeah.
You won't talk to her, you got to stand on the other side of that door. But you're not going to come in this house and talk to her. Not where I'm raising your kid.
Yes.
It
that
was
was
a
disrespectful.
respect thing. You were going to respect me. But even when I moved from that house and moved into another house, he brought her over to pick up my daughter. Another disrespectful thing. But as a woman, if we don't speak up and let them know, hey, I'm not going to tolerate this.
That's right.
This ain't going to work.
That's right.
I don't mind you dating. But what you're not going to do is bring another woman around my children yet. Here's the thing. I had to heal.
Yes.
And so how did you do that? What was your process of doing that?
My process of healing, and I'm not going to lie, y'all,
Yeah, be
it was
honest.
prayer. Oh, my goodness. When I tell you prayer works, I did not want to be that bitter ex-wife
Yes.
at all. I didn't. I didn't want to be bitter. However, I had a lot of anger built up inside of
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
So
Because
I
you're
went
looking at
through-
how many years you invested.
yeah, I went through this phase where I was going out.
Oh, yeah.
I was going out. What I was going out for, I don't even know. But I was going out. And then I was like doing other stuff. And my daughter told me one time, she was like, you don't spend no time with us. And that was like a wake up call for me.
Yes. Yeah. Amen.
When she told me that, I was like, because here, I'm like, I'm here, I'm at the house with you, I'm cooking, my son.
But it's more than
I'm
that.
making sure
Yeah.
y'all taken care of type of thing. And here I'm still going to church, even though I'm going to clubs on Saturday. I'm getting up on a Sunday, I'm going to church. I dance at the church, so I'm still doing all that. But it wasn't until you hear your daughter. My son, he was always quiet.
Yeah.
And, he always went with the flow. But when she said, you don't spend no time with us. You always at the church house on Saturdays for practice and doing this Saturday evenings. You don't spend no time. And I was like,
But it's good y'all have that relationship.
yeah.
Yeah, where she
And
Like,
she could
my
tell you
daddy
that.
telling me I don't spend time with her. And I think I even told her one time, I said, well, your daddy don't spend time with you either. But that was me being bitter. I'm real. that was me being bitter. But however, saying all that to say, I had to buckle myself down. I think I was just going through the flow of going to church.
Yes.
Because that's
And
what
not
I'm
really
supposed to
there.
do. But it wasn't until I had to sit down and really pray, and I fast. I can't even. Baby, I went on this fast because I was like, Lord, I need you to clean my heart. I need my heart restored back to the way it's supposed to be. And it was that fast. I was like, I started seeing things differently. And it was like, okay, you can do this. You'll be okay. And then my good close friends that was there, and just so happened one of them had went through a divorce. So she was telling me, okay, you're going to experience this stage. Then you're going to experience this. And then you're going to experience
It's like a
that.
death.
Yeah. She said, but the good thing is when you come out of it, you're going to be stronger. And your true friends are always going to be there for you. Y'all, I can count my true friends on one hand.
Amen. Oh my
On
God.
one hand. And I'm good with that.
Yeah.
So now I'm at the point in my life.
And today is her birthday.
No. Monday is my birthday.
Oh, it's Monday.
It's Monday. Yeah.
I was giving you an extra
Thank
day.
you. Give me an extra day.
Give her
I'll
an
take
extra
it.
day. Yeah.
But now I'm at the point in my life, and people find it hard to believe that my ex-husband and I are good friends.
That's what I was just about to ask you. What is your relationship now with him? Because now that you've been divorced from him now, how
8
many
years.
years? 8 years?
8 years.
8 years. So
8 years.
what is your relationship now?
We are cool.
And he's remarried.
He's remarried, yes. Congratulations to him. He remarried. Oh, I had to tell you this funny story.
You know,
He got married 4th of July weekend. I'm from New Orleans. Everybody know that's Essence weekend. Ask me how I celebrated. I went to Essence.
Well, I mean, why?
Went to
Yeah,
Essence.
come on.
And his
Yeah.
sister was right there with me because, you know, his sister and I are good,
Yeah.
real close. So she was like, I'm going to go to Essence with you to make sure you are all right. So every year when I talk to him, and it was around that time, I say, oh, happy anniversary, dude. And he'd be like, well, how you know? Boy, because I was at Essence when you was getting married. I was at Essence when you get married. But now him and I, we are so close.
Yeah.
At first, I thought the kids were going to be confused, even though they're grown now.
Yeah.
Because it's like, most people think when you divorce your ex, your spouse, that you're not supposed to be friends. But we have kids together. So we need to be friends. We always say we're still family. We just don't have that piece of paper. No, I don't want him back because I've had that question before.
Yeah.
No, I don't want him back. Our time was served. And I'm good with that. I'm thankful for him because I got 2 beautiful kids and growth out of it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
because
I have him on
divorce is not
speed
always
dial.
bad.
I have him on speed dial. I even have his wife's number in my phone. But I had to reinsure his wife and tell his wife, baby, I don't want him.
Well,
I'm not.
That's just,
Well,
go ahead.
that's a whole nother show. Go
yeah,
ahead.
that's
and
a whole
finish.
nother-
And then the baby,
Yeah,
the
'cause
daughter's
that
in
might
the room,
be
so
how
I
she
wanna-
get. Yeah, we're gonna talk.
That's
It's a whole
another
nother
show
But
for
I
another
had
time.
to,
Yeah.
I had to reinsure her because I was inviting her to like my baby's
Yes,
graduation
yes.
and other things, and she wasn't coming. And I was like, I had to take myself out of self and say, okay, let's look at this from the
Yeah.
outside, you know.
Yeah.
So I was the bigger person, and I called her and I explained to her, please understand, I don't want your husband. I've been knowing him since I was 16. We're good. We've had our time together. My grandmother always told me that if it's meant to be, it'll always come back in full circle.
Yeah.
Here's the funny part about that. Him and his wife been knowing each other. They were friends. Back in
Didn't
high
we say that
school.
was another story?
Well, no, but I'm being real though.
Yeah.
When I say if
Yeah.
it's meant to be, it'll come back
Yeah.
in full circle. They knew each other already.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. And I needed her to be okay with that situation because it's growth.
Because that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
'Cause that situation happened, but when you're dealing with insecurities, you have to look at the why. Was it when your foundation is based on infidelity, adultery, and let's just keep it real, and I'm not being disrespectful to the
Anyone.
child's father. I'm just saying when you don't have to. I mean, I can tell you some stories about some women who have. And it's like, why are you doing all that? I want him to remember who his wife is. Why he need to? What is all this about?
Yeah.
And because when you met him, what he did to her, he with you, you worried he gonna do it to you with somebody else.
Yeah.
That's what you really worried about. Sometimes I'm just.
That's why I
I have
said-
to say that. Give that disclaimer.
Yeah.
No, but
And we
you're
wish her the
right.
best and all that, but you hit it on the head. I don't want him, but what are the insecurities as to why you feel that way?
And you're so right about that because
Yeah.
when they came out with the the little
what?
wedding, the
Oh,
little
yeah, yeah,
wedding
yeah.
thing.
Oh.
And I read the timeline, and I called my ex-husband on it, and I said, you know what? The proof is in black and white. I
Yes.
knew you guys knew each other, but
Yeah.
when she started listing some of the times, you know, that he was there during her mother's passing and stuff like that, and I started putting one on one, you know, one to one together, I was like, wait a minute, well, she's always been around.
Yeah.
And it brought me right back to what my grandmother said, if something is meant to be, it'll be. Who am I to stand in anybody's way? So, fast forward to present. Because I love the present.
Yeah. Amen.
What? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. You just go ahead and you. Me and Don
It's your birthday.
Yeah, me and Don just gonna sit here.
Because I love the present. One thing divorce has taught me is to be strong. I was already a strong woman, but I'm even a stronger woman now. I stand firm in what I do and who I am and how I believe. That's one thing about it. Growth. I always say my divorce was so that I can grow and learn myself again.
Yeah.
Because for the longest I was Eric's wife. I was, oh, what you need me to do? Oh, how can I? Oh,
Yeah.
baby, let me do this. Oh, baby. No, now it's about me. My kids are grown. I'm always be there for them.
Yeah.
But my kids are grown. It's about me and me living my best life.
Yeah.
And being happy, and I love it.
But what I think is great is her daughter here. There's no bitterness, so her daughter's not bitter. And then her daughter, so it's the cycle is broken.
Yeah.
Her daughter and Kiana can find love again. So her daughter says love is out there. I'm not going to be bitter and never meet a man because of what happened. Because she's healed. Her daughter, because it's different with women and boys and
Yeah,
how they,
yeah.
you know. But she's not bitter.
And then she was still
right.
and she still was at a young age to watch her mom go through a divorce.
Yes.
And see how her mom went through that divorce and her mom is still standing.
Yeah.
As
And
well.
she didn't put that on her daughter,
No.
telling her she lets her daughter see the father, which I'm sure was not easy. So I think women who are in a place of divorce need to hear that, and it's not an easy journey.
no.
But you got to break the cycle so your children
Yes.
don't continue.
And
that,
that's
Exactly.
so important.
that
like,
pain can't. Yeah.
Exactly.
to know you have a daughter, your son as well.
Yeah.
But my son is always going to be my son. That's my baby. That's my, mama's boy. But to have your daughter look at you, and my whole thing is now, she's a female. She has to see.
Yes.
She has to see so she knows. Now, don't get me wrong. She is a tough cookie.
Yeah.
'Cause when I was
Yes,
going
she
through it, I
is.
think she may have saw me cry maybe, once or twice. And the time that she did see me, she was like, hey, mama, what's all this?
Yeah.
No.
And that sound like
we all
something she
right.
would say.
We good.
That
We
sound like
got
something
this,
I
mama.
would
We
say.
good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, but no, mama, wipe them tears.
Wow.
But she's always been that tough child, you know. So she was like, brush that off. You okay?
But God built her that way. though.
Yes,
We have
yes.
the characteristics we have because she has to be strong. I mean, it's all about uplifting each other. She needed that support, and the children have to. It's just a whole. Every story doesn't end like this.
No,
No,
it doesn't.
no.
And
doesn't.
No.
so hopefully this will raise awareness on some
I'm the
things.
blessed one, as
And
I
for
say.
people
Healing,
to-
though, is the
and
key.
For healing
That has
and
to be key.
realizing what step you need to go to despite what everybody and anybody is saying. You have to make that decision and follow God. So first of all, I want to
good.
say thank you for being here with us. I'm going to let you give us some takeaways that we got from the show before I close it out.
I'm gonna say I love what she said about you got to have the right people around you. She didn't have the bitter single sister around saying, girl, yeah, and you got to watch who you allow in your spirit when you're going through that. You had a friend who had went through divorce, but she was healed. She told you what you're going to go through, but you can make it. That's what you need. When you're going through something as traumatic as a divorce, you got to watch the people you have around you. You got to watch who you're listening to, your circle. You can't have them women encouraging you to, happy hour ain't going to heal you. You need the
No.
Holy Spirit. And we got to, Hennessy ain't going to do it.
No.
You need the, you got to get the Holy Spirit. So you need friends leading you to that. So that's just, I would say, watch who you surround yourself, even as a single woman.
Yeah.
I don't listen
what
to
is what is the takeaway from the marriage segment with Mr.
Oh my
Keelan?
God, that she's transparent. Marriage is not easy. Marriage is not perfect, but they made it because their foundation was on God. And then also what she said, her husband Willie, where she was weak at, her husband was strong at. And
Exactly,
where he was
exactly.
weak, she was strong. And you can lift each other up, and you can you can make it work.
And they kept communication.
Yeah, and look
they
at her
kept
head on his shoulder
yeah.
and
sleeping.
I don't know what they're doing back. Yeah, they met.
See,
Hey, happy
what I'm
anniversary,
talking-
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that one day. Yeah, amen.
And what is the takeaway from our singles? The last takeaway from our singles ladies.
Quickly, I would say patience, God's timing. You need to also, number 2, position yourself. You cannot meet you think you're going to be in pajamas all day at home watching Netflix. No, you've got to get out of the house. You've got to be in those purposeful places and position yourself, though. And also prepare yourself. Make sure you have the qualities to be a wife. Make sure what you're asking for, you can bring that to the table. So it's positioning yourself, preparing, patience, and get in prayer and make sure you are prepared, because when God brings them to you, you want to know what to do with it.
All right, all right. Well, we done heard it. Dr. Dawn gonna shut this down.
Oh, I didn't shut it.
She done gave.
You could talk about relationships all day. Who's next?
She done gave us our tips to end
I've
this
learned,
show out.
yeah.
So I want to thank all you guys for being here with me today, most definitely. And guys, until next time, always empower, always encourage, and continue to remove your masks.
Hello, hello, hello. I just stopped by to remind you of how fabulous you are, how wonderful you are, how God made you to do wonderful and miraculous things in the world.